Welcome to This Explainer. Okay, I am so incredibly excited to share today's material with you because it tackles a challenge that honestly, so many of us are trying to figure out right now. This Explainer is actually a dedicated mentorship resource built explicitly by a teacher for teachers. Hosted and put together by Professor Thomas Hormaza, it's designed as a completely accessible, highly practical pathway for business professors who just want to build some real AI confidence into their classroom practice. Oh, and right off the bat, please don't worry about frantic note-taking. Literally every single tool and URL we discussed today is linked directly in the video description below. Okay, let's dive right into this. Our agenda today covers 5 key areas. First, reframing AI for business. Second, the practical learning pathway. Third, formalizing course integration. Fourth, applying AI to business. And fifth, why you should start with one assignment. All right, Section 1, reframing AI for business, moving from a technical subject to a professional practice. So, we have to recognize that AI is no longer just this niche tool for engineers, right? It's fundamentally a professional practice issue. If you teach business today, AI is already changing exactly how your future graduates are going to draft emails, summarize market data, and analyze customer behaviors. But we often kind of view it the wrong way. The incorrect way is the shortcut approach, treating AI like some magic box that spits out a final answer and completely replaces human thought. What we absolutely must adopt instead is the learning tool approach, and this brilliantly illustrates the process. You prompt, you get an output, you verify it, you revise it, and finally you apply judgment. Framed this way, AI doesn't actually replace critical thinking at all. It literally makes it visible. Moving right along to Section 2, the practical learning pathway. Start practical, then build your judgment. When you are trying to learn AI, the sequence you learn it in matters immensely. You really can't just jump straight into writing complex, foolproof syllabus policies. You have to build your own personal confidence first. So here's this meticulously curated 5-step pathway. It's essentially the secret sauce. It moves logically from Google Gen AI through Microsoft Elevate and Learn into Azure AI Fundamentals and then finally IBM Skills Build. This takes you step by step from personal confidence all the way to full workplace readiness. Let's break those steps down. Step 1 is Google Generative AI for educators. This is where you just start by using AI as a teaching and planning assistant. Think of this step as your personal, safe sandbox. Before you ever bring students into the mix, use this platform to practice your own prompting. Use it to brainstorm lesson ideas, draft up some materials. It's totally about boosting your own productivity first. Now, once you have that personal confidence, you've got to advance to Step 2, which is Microsoft Elevate Educator Expert AI. Here, we're shifting gears from just personal productivity over to responsible guidance. You're going to tackle the really critical governance issues, things like academic integrity, verification, privacy, accountability, and of course, human judgment. Really understanding these frameworks is absolutely crucial for establishing transparent policies in your classroom. Which brings us to Section 3, formalizing course integration, moving beyond personal learning. Let's see how this builds because this is our real pivot point. We are officially transitioning from your own professional development to actually embedding these tools for your students. Step 3 is Microsoft Learn for educators. The goal here is simple but powerful. Connect your course content to industry-recognized learning paths. At this stage, you aren't just exploring anymore. You're structuring the environment so your students gain formal, solid exposure to AI concepts. Step 4 brings us to Microsoft Azure AI Fundamentals. This covers the basics of machine learning, Gen AI concepts, natural language processing, and responsible AI principles. Now, let me be super clear about something here. This is not about turning business students into computer coders. No way. It's about giving them formal vocabulary. When they walk into the corporate world, having this foundation means they can evaluate AI solutions and actually ask technical teams highly informed, intelligent questions. And finally, Step 5, IBM Skills Build. This is where you connect AI learning directly to workplace readiness and overall employability. This final step grounds the whole shebang in reality. It shows your students exactly how AI is currently being used in the enterprise right now to automate customer service workflows, crunch data, and aid in high-level decision-making. It is literally the ultimate bridge between the classroom and the corporate office. Now, real quick before you move on, I want to briefly highlight a few really useful supporting resources. Platforms like Elements of AI, DeepLearning.AI's AI for Everyone, and Harvard's teaching resources and AI guidelines are simply excellent for foundational literacy. They are supplemental, of course, meant to support that main 5-step pathway we just walked through. And just as a quick reminder, all the links to these fantastic resources are neatly organized for you down in the description below, so be sure to check those out. All right, Section 4, Applying AI to Business. Let's look at some classroom-ready practice. Now, what's really interesting here is taking that overarching framework and mapping it out to specific business disciplines. For example, if you teach marketing, your students can easily use AI to draft up incredibly detailed customer personas. In sales, they can generate discovery questions or even use it to role-play handling objections. In entrepreneurship, it's a brilliant tool for pitch prep. And in management, it perfectly supports complex risk analysis. The applications are practically limitless, provided that the students are actually using the tool to prepare, compare, and revise their work. And that leads us perfectly into Section 5, our recommended teaching approach. Start small with one assignment. Look, if you are currently feeling the urge to frantically tear down and redesign your entire syllabus overnight, just take a deep breath. Seriously, don't do it. The absolute best approach is low stakes. Simply choose one single assignment to inject with AI support. You hand out the assignment, you allow AI within very clear limits, the student then verifies the facts the AI gives them, they revise it, they reflect on the process, and finally they submit it. This really simple cycle effectively transforms a run-of-the-mill assignment into a pretty profound lesson on responsible judgment. Because those reflection steps, they are absolutely the golden key here. The reflection should center around a few very specific questions. What did you actually ask the AI? What output did it provide? What did you verify? What did you change? And ultimately, what final decision did you make? Emphasizing these questions ensures that your students are actively taking ownership of their critical thinking rather than just blindly copying and pasting a generated response. So the crucial point is this course philosophy. Use AI, verify, revise, explain judgment. Honestly, I'm going to say it again because it is just that foundational. Use AI, verify, revise, explain judgment. Your job as a business professor is fundamentally shifting. You are no longer just assessing the final product a student turns in. You are assessing their entire process, and most importantly, their final judgment. And that leaves us with one incredibly important, slightly provocative question to consider today. Will your students just submit a final product, or will they submit their judgment? The AI-enabled workplace desperately needs professionals who can verify, revise, and confidently stand behind the decisions they make. Your classroom is exactly where they are going to build that muscle. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer today. Make sure to check out all those incredibly helpful resource links in the description. And I truly hope this pathway from Professor Thomas Hormaza empowers you to teach with immense confidence. See you next time.